welcome. I am unapologetically Eric. You can reach me on X at Eric Not Sorry or on Facebook at Unapologetically Eric. If you like this episode, please give it a like, share, tell your friends, and check out my other episodes. Do not keep me your dirty little secret. I hope you enjoy. Now let's get on with the show. How's everybody doing out there today? I hope you're doing well. For me, I am caffeinated, medicated, and never regulated, so let's freaking go! Today I want to talk about student loans. That's right, student loans. I gotta pay back my student... Yeah, you do. Yeah, you took out the money. It's a debt. It's your debt. You promised to pay it back, so pay it back. All right, well, that's the show. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. I'm just kidding, obviously. But yeah, if you took out a student loan, quit your bitching. Pay your fucking debt. I am so sick and tired of listening to people about their student loans. I am really tired of Democrat leaders, especially here in Connecticut, but across the country, crying about, why do people have to pay back? We need student loan forgiveness. Shut up. Why is nobody talking about mortgage forgiveness loans, or forgiveness on auto payments, for your car? Oh, we don't want to talk about just student loans. Oh, okay, just student loans. Okay. Well, what about the rest of us who never went to college, that never took out that loan? Like me. I should not have to pay for any of your shit. You took out the loan. It's your debt. Pay it. Are you going to pay my car payment? Are you? Well, I would hope the answer is no, because that is my problem. That is my debt. Are you going to pay my neighbor's mortgage? No? Well, good. You shouldn't, because that's my neighbor's problem. So why should me and my neighbor and my neighbor's neighbor pay for your shit? You took out the loan. You pay it back. That's how it works. Now, I do understand there is a problem when it comes to student loans, and it is called compounding interest. Well, what's that? Well, I had to look it up because I don't have a fancy piece of paper from an institution, so I'm stupid, and I had to use the interwebs to look it up. So let's get into that. So when you take out a loan, let's say you go to the bank and you're like, I need money for whatever. It doesn't matter. You want to go on vacation, you're going to build a pool, you want to put an addition on your house. You go to the bank and you say, I need money, and they go, okay. And you sign the bottom line, they give you money. Well, there's interest on that, right? Everybody's kind of aware of that. Well, you pay your principal, which is, in case anybody out there does not know, principal is the amount you took out. Okay, so you pay back the principal plus the interest. The way student loans work, though, when it comes to the interest, it's shady as shit. And I understand why those of you out there who took out a college loan is having a problem paying it back. I get it. Because if you are unaware of how this total crap show is set up, thank you, federal government, by the way, it's twisted, screwed up, and you are bound to be in debt forever. Forever. So on Grok, I looked it up, and it is, what is compounding interest? Well, it said interest is calculated on the loan's principal, the original amount borrowed. If unpaid interest is added to the principal, future interest is calculated on the increased balance, causing the debt to grow faster than with simple interest. Like a normal personal loan. So there was an example that Grok gave, and it says, okay, let's see here. Interest, blah, 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 blah. Suppose you have a $10,000 unsubsidized federal student loan with a 6% annual interest rate, and you defer payment while in school for 4 years. Okay, that's pretty standard, right? 4 years deferred because, you're in school. All right, so it says interest accrual. Yeah, accrual. Wow, I've never seen that word before. Anyways, because I'm not one of them book smart people. Interest accrues at approximately $600 per year. So 10,000 times 0.06 over 4 years, that is $2,400 in accrued interest. The capitalization after 4 years, so you go through school, the 2,400 is now added to the 10,000 original debt, right? So now the repayment is calculated on $12,400 as opposed to the original 10. So at 6%, the annual interest is now $744 a year instead of $600. And then this compounds further if the unpaid interest continues to capitalize. So as people have said, I've seen videos. They're like, I had a $60,000 loan, went to school, graduated. They pay X amount. Let's say they pay $700 a month. They're like, hell yeah, I want to bang this bitch out. I want to pay it off, pay it off, pay it off. And they're like, I've been paying for 2 years and I still owe $79,000. Or some ridiculous number, right? Obviously, I'm pulling numbers out of my butt. But that's why. That's why. Because the whole system, and that's what it is. It's a system to bend you over and repeatedly just keep giving it to you for the rest of your life. You will never get out of this debt. I shouldn't say you will never. There are people, obviously, that have paid their student loans back. But it is very difficult for many people, obviously, unless you are making bank. But that is why student loans are a scam. They're a scam. You are screwed at age 18. You're screwed forever. Unless, like I said, you get some bomb-ass job and you can pay it back. But that's why. It just stacks interest on interest and just keeps screwing you. Just keep screwing you over. And then I see these people, well, just go bankrupt. Just claim bankruptcy. You fool. Do you honestly think the federal government is going to allow you to do that? No. Can you technically do bankruptcy on your student loan? Technically, yes. Yes, actually you can. The odds of it, though, no. It's not going to happen. It's not. Because in order to discharge student loans in bankruptcy, borrowers must prove, quote, undue hardship, end quote, under the Brunner test, established in 1987. Oh, I have a little story about the 80s. Interesting. That'll be coming up. So, with this Brunner test, you have to, A, prove the inability to maintain a minimal standard of living if forced to repay the loan. B, persistent financial hardship likely to continue for most of the repayment period. And C, good faith efforts to repay the loan, example, making payments when possible, or exploring repayment options. However, courts apply this test stringently, and very few borrowers meet all three requirements. Not just one, all three. And judges often interpret undue hardship narrowly. So, could you technically claim bankruptcy on student loans? Yes. But the odds of you being successful with that is good luck. You have better odds of getting struck by lightning and winning the lottery in the same day. So, yeah, good luck with that. So, it's your debt. It is your problem. And I know I've had this debate with people. They're like, well, why should something be done? I ask that. Why? Well, because it's a hardship and people have a hard time. Okay. Why? Why should people have their debts just forgiven? Why? Hey, I'm unemployed. I'm currently unemployed, and my unemployment ran out. I have fucking no income right now. Um, how about we just forget paying my car payment? Um, how about you know what? I'm not going to pay EverSource. Yeah, I'm not going to give them any money. Do you think the electric company is going to be cool with me not paying them? Do you think they're just going to keep my lights on? Highly unlikely. If I don't pay the bank note on my car, do you think they're just going to be like, yeah, that's cool, bro? No. They're going to send a tow truck to get my shit. As they should. Because I technically don't own my vehicle. The bank still does. Yeah. Oh, wait. How about, oh, you have a mortgage? Just stop paying that shit. Pfft, right? Yeah. It doesn't work that way, folks. Now, look, I get it. When you signed that dotted line back when you were 18, you were young, you were naive, and I don't blame you. And the people around you were probably naive of all this shit too. And now it's come to the forefront, and pretty much everybody is aware of this compounding interest, this scam that screws young adults here in the United States for their education. Yeah, yeah, you're screwed from day one as soon as you sign that line. Again, unless you get a bomb-ass job. Which leads me to, well, what did you go to school for? Well, I understand. Like I said, I never went to college. I think college is a scam anyway, for the most part. But that's me. It's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I also understand, yes, there are certain things you want somebody to go and get a college education for. Like, I don't know, doctors. Yeah, yeah, I think that the person that's going to, do open heart surgery should probably be well trained. Nurses, right? Dental hygienists, right? Yeah, I don't want somebody poking around in my mouth with a metal hook that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, obviously, right? There are certain fields, and I get it. Doctors, lawyers, nurses. I get it. However, if you go to college to learn interpretive dance, what are you doing, bro? Like, really? What are you doing? Or gender fluid basket weaving. Like, really? You got a degree in that? What career did you possibly foresee having? What kind of income did you think you were going to get? Because that's just fucking dumb. Now, again, if that's what you went to school for, that's what you wanted to learn, fine. I'm not going to knock you for that. Really, I'm not. My buddy Ryan and I, we covered this probably last year, I'm guessing, maybe a year and a half ago on our podcast, Two Guys, One Campfire, regarding going to college. And again, yes, there are certain people or fields, yes, you want somebody trained well. I get it. But when you're not going to school to become a doctor or a nurse or something like that, what type of career do you foresee having? Is that career in demand? What does that career pay? Like, I like to use the example of, ancient Egypt, right? Stuff like that. I think that stuff is fascinating. And if somebody out there went to college and they took out student loans to learn all about ancient Egypt and, maybe they wanted to become an archaeologist, okay, that's cool. And it is. I think that shit is cool. I'm interested in that. But, how many jobs are available in archaeology? How many jobs and careers are available in ancient Egypt, investigating of that stuff and cultures and whatnot? Probably not many, right? So yeah, go to school. If that's something that interests you as a hobby or something like that, yeah, go. If you want to expand your horizons, that's great. But if you wanted to do it as a career, where are you getting a job? And how much does that career pay? I mean, are you trying to be that Hawass guy that I've seen on National Geographic, videos and shit? Because good luck. Good luck with that. To me, it's no different than somebody wanting to be a pro football player. That's an aspiring dream. Go for it. I totally go for it. I support everybody that wants to go pro in a sport or what have. Hell, I don't care if it's you want to be a ballet dancer on Broadway. Okay, fine. If that's your passion, then rock on with that shit. But what's your fallback? Because what are the odds that you are going to be a famous ballet dancer on Broadway? What are the odds you're going to be a famous running back for the Rams? Or a famous, outfielder for the Yankees? The odds are so stacked against people to get into that field. Yeah, the pay is good. You get paid bank, you be ballin'. But the odds of getting into being a professional athlete, slim to freaking none. So what's your fallback? What is your fallback? What is your next career? And if you went to college to hopefully get seen by scouts and get selected to go play pro ball, what's your degree in? What's your fallback? And how are you going to pay that loan back? Now, I mentioned that I had a story about the 80s when I was reading how that Brenner test came up in 1987. Now, in 87, I was a young wee lad, and I never had aspirations to go to college. I'm so glad I never went, kind of, because otherwise I'd have a fucking loan to pay too. But back in the 80s, there was a family friend. She was a very, very bright, very smart woman. When she graduated high school in the early 70s, she went and got a job. She got a job in insurance. And she worked her way up, entry-level job, data entry, and she worked her way up through the years and learned a lot. One day, in the mid-80s, the company, I believe, was bought out, and then departments were closed, and she was laid off. Now, I recall hearing, you have to get a college degree or you will never get a good job. And that I recall hearing in the early 80s. A big push. Got to go to college. You got to go to college. You have to go to college. You have to. You don't want to wind up being a garbage man, do you? Yeah. You don't want to be a garbage man. Wow. You mean the guy that is at the time, making $30 an hour in the 80s under a union? Yeah, riding in the back of the truck, because this was long before, riding in the cab with the big arm. They rode the back of the truck. And yeah, I know it sucked in the summer and the rain and the winter, but garbage collection is recession proof. There's always going to be a demand to pick up garbage. And it's okay, it's not the glamorous job, and sure, you go home smelling like garbage, but these people were getting paid well. They had such great benefits, and it's a job that's always in demand. Yeah, it would be fucking tragic to be a garbage man, but there was that big push. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. So this woman obviously had to get a job, so she would apply places, and she would go in. And they would interview her, and they would tell her, you are way, way overqualified for this position. And she's like, okay, but I need the job. I need a job. And then she would apply for other positions, and they were like, you are well qualified. We would love to have you, but you don't have a bachelor's degree or an associate. You don't have a degree. So this woman has the knowledge. She had the skills. She knew how to do the job, but because she didn't have some fancy piece of paper from some fancy institution, she couldn't get the job. How backwards is that? That is bonkers to me. And that's one of the main reasons why back in the 80s I went, fuck, I ain't going to college. Screw that shit. To me, that's as insane to me as if, say somebody grew up tinkering with engines and motors and cars. Perhaps they had an uncle or a family friend that was building go-karts to race, or they had like a car, nothing, not famous, not NASCAR crap, but maybe Stafford Motor Speedway, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe they were driving cars up there. And this individual, as they grew up, learned how to turn a wrench. They know how to change brakes, oil changes, they know how to troubleshoot electrical gremlins. They know their way around a car, and they go to an auto shop and they say, hey, I would like a job. And having that auto shop go, well, did you go to automotive school? Did you go and learn how to do that stuff at an institution? Do you have a piece of paper? Sorry, you don't have a piece of paper? No, we're not going to hire you. No. Odds are they'd be like, well, let's see how well you can turn a wrench. Trial period. We'll give you a week. And, oh, look, this person actually kind of knows what they're doing. All right, you're hired. That's how it would go. That's how it should go. Do you know how to do the job? Yes. Okay, you're hired. But, oh, you don't have a fancy little piece of paper? Get out of here, bro. No. Now, like I've already stated, the compounding interest is the problem. It is. Not me personally, like I said, I don't have skin in the game on this, other than my tax dollars going to pay for somebody else's freaking whining, and they're dead. My tax money, all our tax dollars are already going to pay people that are, well, let's just say it. They're fucking worthless. Okay? I know there are people out there that are good people that genuinely need help from their fellow man, their taxpayer, their tax-paying neighbor. I get it. But you know that there are a lot of people that are just dead weight getting money from you and me. I would like to not make it more dead weight for you and me. We all have our own debts and our own problems. All right? Hey. Oh, that's right. Hey, Connecticut Democrats officials, elected officials who are wah about this. Hey, I need a new roof. I have a leak in my kitchen. Are you going to pay for my new roof? Are you going to pay for the repairs in my kitchen once the roof is done? Are you going to pay for that? No, you're not. Then sit down, clown, and shut up. Saint Fook would like to have a chat with you. But that's why you need to ask, one, why is the compounding interest? Why are these loans set up this way? Why? Specifically, why? Two, why can't the government or somebody, some entity, some agency, what have you, change it, tweak it, so that the compounding interest isn't boning everybody who took out a student loan? Why can't people restructure shit in a way that makes a terrible student loan more like a normal bank loan? Why? Now, I know some people have done that and have made arrangements and payments and whatnot to make things easier for themselves, and that's great. But not everybody can. Why is that? I don't know. I'm just asking the question of why. Why is that? Again, I do feel for somebody, because if I had a loan that was 10 grand and I was paying it, I don't know, $500 a month on it for 2 years, and after 2 years I owed $17,500, I'd be kind of pissed. And I would want to say, nope, not paying you anymore. I get it. I totally get it. It would totally piss me off. My wife has student loans. I'm going to be like 68 when her shit is paid off. Maybe 70 or 73. I'll probably be dead. No joke. I'm being totally serious. I will probably be in an urn by the time my wife's student loan is paid off. And she's not alone. There's a lot of people out there, and I get it. I understand the crying and the complaining. I do. I know I make fun because, yeah, that's because I'm an asshole. But I get it. I understand the frustration, but at the same time, you have to understand the frustration of people going, you pay your own debt. It's not my responsibility. And that's true. It's true. It's your responsibility to pay your own debt. That's, like I said, you have to ask, why are these things set up this way? Why? Why? Why can't it be tweaked or changed? Why? As the old saying goes, follow the money. Again, I don't know the reason behind this. I don't know why things are set up that way. I don't know why it's set up so anybody that gets a student loan at the age of 18 is screwed literally for the rest of their life. Literally for the rest of their life. I don't know why it's set up that way. I would like to know. And I would also like to know why it can't be tweaked so somebody that's 39 years old is still paying an exorbitant amount of money on a debt that eventually is never going to go, just effectively never going away. Not even eventually going, it's just not going away. I understand the frustration, but it's not my responsibility to pay your shit. It's not my problem. It's not your neighbor's problem. It's your problem. And then that brings me to another thing. I see people not necessarily complaining about student loans, but money in general. I am one of them. As I've already stated, I got no income right now, and it kind of sucks. And it's very, very, very stressful. Okay? I know I'm not alone. However, I ask a lot of people that I have heard complain about not having enough money, having a hard time making ends meet. And then I go, nice new cell phone you got there. Oh, yeah, it's the latest, but it's only $30 a month on my bill. What was wrong with your old one? Nothing. Your cell phone was like, what, a year old? There's nothing wrong with your old phone. Why do you... Well, it's only $30. It's only $30 a month. Okay. You do realize that's $360 a year you're paying on that phone that you didn't need. Why are you paying for cable? Why are you paying for streaming service? If you have a hard time making ends meet, why do you have this stuff? Why are you going on vacation? Now, look, I get it. Everybody is entitled to take a break and a mental break and get away. Sure. But if you're complaining that you can't pay your student loan or any other debts, why are you going to Vegas? Why are you going to Disney? Why are you taking a cruise? That's an awful lot of money. I don't need, that's a lot of money. I don't care if it costs you $1,000 for the whole thing. Why are you spending money on that when you're having a hard time making ends meet? I'm waiting. Well, everybody is entitled to have, yes, everybody's entitled to have a good time. Sure. Okay. But why are you flying to Europe for 10 days? If you can't pay your student loan, why are you doing that? Now, I know some of you out there going, well, I have never done that. And you know what? Good for you. Good for you, because you're one of the smart ones. Going, yeah, I understand. I can't afford this stuff because I have debts. So guess what? I just got to cinch the belt and suck it up. Like adults do. And I've heard some people out there try to say, hey, all of us with student loans, we should all band together and not pay our payments. Okay. You're gonna collapse all the banks doing that? Did your professor tell you that was what was gonna happen? Yeah. Good luck with that, champ. Yeah, you good luck with that. Yeah, okay. I mean, look, I get it. Having a debt hanging over your head every month sucks. Well, that's also a part of life. Even if you pay off your car, you pay off your house. Hell, even if you do pay off your student loan, you are always going to have some sort of debt hanging over you, like your taxes, property taxes, right? You're going to have to pay something in taxes or something for groceries, you're always going to have some sort of debt. That's life. Unless you want to be a hermit in the woods, you're living off the land or something. I mean, which, hey, cool, man, more power to you. I know I couldn't do that shit. But your student loan is your problem. Not mine, not the government's, not your neighbors, not mommy and daddy's. Your problem. That is why I have mentioned in the past the man Mike Rowe. He is a former opera singer, if you did not know, but he's also the host of Dirty Jobs. And, he does other things too. But for years, Mike Rowe has been pushing for trade schools because America is shorthanded on a lot of the trades. Mechanics, welders, carpenters, HVAC, plumbers, electricians, people that get their hands dirty that makes shit work. Because for the big, like I said, since the as far as I know, the 80s, and maybe before that, it was the push. You have to go to college. You have to. But we're so shorthanded on people that actually make the everyday things that we all want and need go. And for decades, people would look down on those individuals. I went to UConn, and I got a degree, and I don't care what. But why is my car not working? Well, I don't know. Why don't you bring it to the Neanderthal that knows how to change, spark plugs? Because you're so smart. Bring it to the goober that knows how to change spark plugs and how to get your car working again. Yeah, that moron. Oh, wait. Huh. That person didn't go to college. They know how to make your car work. Oh, your toilet's plugged? Your shower won't work? Your hot water stopped? Well, hire the person that's a dummy that didn't go to college to come fix your stuff. I am so tired, even now, the entitlement, the nose in the air looking down upon the people that actually get their hands dirty, those that have calluses on their hands. Oh, really? If the electricians, the plumbers, the mechanics, if all of them decided to just not swing a hammer for a week, all of you would know. The system, everything you know, would stop. It would just stop. Well, the power of the dumb, I guess. I guess dumb people like us, the people that are mechanically inclined, us stupid folk that weren't smart enough to go to some brainwashing building and pay for the privilege. Well, I guess we're just not as smart as the rest of you. I guess. So in closing, your student loan is your problem. Not mine, not your neighbor's, yours. You pay your debt. And to the politicians, mainly Democrats, but I am sure there's a few out there with an R next to their name, or an I, or a G. I don't give a damn what party. But overwhelmingly Democrat officials, are you going to pay for someone's student loan debt? Is it going to come out of your pocket? Are you? No, you're not. So then shut up. Just shut up. Just stop, you clown. You're just beating a drum for votes. That's all you're doing. And only dumb people fall for it. You take out a loan, you pay for it. Like I said in the beginning, are you going to pay off my car? No, you're not. And I would not expect you to. Why? It's my debt. It's my problem. I bought my car. I signed the line. I promised I would pay it back. I didn't sign it saying my neighbor's going to pay it back. I didn't sign it saying my dad's going to pay it back. No, I'm paying it back. That's my problem. So your student loan debt, that's your problem. And if you took out that kind of a loan for whatever money, I don't care if it was $5,000 or $500,000. I don't give a shit what you went to school for. But if it doesn't pay, if the career doesn't pay, if there was no career opportunities, then why the hell did you go? Why did you? Because the counselor at school told me I had to go. Then you're a fool. You're a fool. Tough noogies. You took out the debt. Tough shit. Tough shit. I understand paying back a student loan is a burden. It is. Paying back any money, any loan, is a burden. That's why you look to pay it off as fast as humanly possible. But that, like I've already stated, that compounding interest is what really screws you. And you've been screwed from the day you signed your name. And if you weren't told about it, and you were unaware of it, well, not my fault. Not my problem. Not your neighbor's problem. Not the taxpayer problem. Not the government's problem. That's your problem. Live and learn, I guess. I don't know what else to say. So, pay off your damn debts. It's not my problem. If you like this episode, I know I got others, and I'm sure I'll cover this again, because this dead horse hasn't been beaten enough. So, thank you for listening, and until next time, keep being you.